66. Many gods meet injury. Maitreya binds a fiend. We were telling you about the great sage Sun, who had no alternative but to mount an auspicious cloud by means of his somersault to head directly for the Wudang mountain on the South Jambudvipa continent, where he hoped to solicit the help of the demon-conquering celestial worthy to rescue Tripitaka, 8 Rules, and Sha Monk and the various celestial warriors from their ordeal. Without a moment's pause in midair, he soon caught sight of the Patriarch's immortal realm. Gently lowering his cloud, he stared around. A marvelous place it was. Grandly it guards the southeast. This towering divine mountain. The soaring hibiscus peak. The rugged purple canopy summit. 9 streams flow from it to distant Jing and Yang. It joins the Ye Mountains, reaching the state of Chu. On top are the treasure cave of Grand Void. The numinous estrades of Zhu and Lu. Golden stones resound in 36 halls, where to offer incense 10,000 pilgrims come. King Shun visits it and King Yu prays at this place. Adorned with jade tablets and letters of gold. Bluebirds fly about the towers. Banners flap like scarlet skirts. A land set on a mountain famed in all the world. A heaven-born region touching the spacious void. A few sprigs of plum trees just now in bloom. A mountain of rare grasses spreading their verdure. Dragons lie beneath the brooks. Tigers crouch by the cliffs. The birds sound as if they're talking. By people tame deer are walking. White cranes perch with clouds on old junipers. Facing the sun, blue and red phoenixes sing. This has the looks of a true, immortal realm, where portals of gold and mercy rule the world. The august patriarch was the offspring of King Purejoy and Queen Triumphant Virtue, who was conceived with child after she dreamed that she had swallowed the sun. After carrying the child for 14 months, she gave birth to him in the palace at noon on the first day of the 3rd month, in the Jiaqin year, which was the first year of the Kai Huang reign period. This holy father was fierce and bold in his youth, astute and keen when he grew up. Declining the throne of kingship, he sought only austerities. His parents could not stop him from leaving the royal palace. The mysteries and meditation he embraced on this mountain. Merit and work accomplished, he rose in daylight to heaven. The Jade Emperor forthwith decreed that he be titled Jinwu. Above, the dark void blessed him. Below, the snake and turtle joined him. The entire heaven and earth addressed him as all efficacious, from whom no secret was hidden, for whom no act e'er met failure. From start to end of each kalpa, he rooted the demon spirits. As he was enjoying the sight of this immortal scenery, the great sage Sun soon arrived before the palace of Grand Harmony, having passed through the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd heaven gates. There in the midst of hallowed light and auspicious air he found a group of 500 spirit ministers, who met him and said, "Who are you?" "I'm Sun Wukong, the great sage, equal to heaven," replied the great sage. "And I'd like to have an audience with the patriarch." After the spirit ministers went inside to make the report, the patriarch left the main hall to escort his visitor into the palace of Grand Harmony. Pilgrim saluted the patriarch and said, "I must trouble you with a matter." "What is it?" the patriarch asked. "I was accompanying the Tang monk on his way to the western heaven to acquire scriptures," said Pilgrim, "and our path has landed us in a dangerous ordeal. At the west of Paragadania continent, there is a mountain by the name of the Little Western Heaven, in which a demonic fiend has set up a little thunderclap monastery. When my master entered the monastery gate and laid eyes on rows of arhats, guardians, bhikkhus, and sage monks, he thought that he had come upon the real Buddha. Just as he bent low to bow to them, he was seized and bound. I, too, was caught off guard and was clamped within a pair of gold symbols that the fiend threw up into the air. Those symbols had me completely sealed inside, and there was not even the slightest crack for me to escape. It was a good thing that the golden-headed guardian went to memorialize to the Jade Emperor, who commanded the 28 constellations to descend to Earth that very night. Even they, however, could not pry the symbols open. Luckily, Gulith the gold dragon managed to pierce the symbols with his horn and took me out with him. I smashed the symbols afterwards and aroused the fiendish creature. When he gave chase and fought with us, he threw up a white cloth wrap which had all of us, including the 28 constellations, stored away. We were tied up with ropes once more, but that evening I managed to escape and free the constellations and our Tang monk. Thereafter, my search for our robe and alms bowl again disturbed the fiend, who chased us down once more to do battle with the celestial warriors. When that fiend took out his white cloth wrap and fiddled with it, I recognized his tune and fled at once. The rest of my companions were stored up by him as before. I had no other alternative but to come here to beg assistance from the Patriarch. The Patriarch said, "In years past, I ruled over the north, and that was the reason I had assumed the position of Jinwu to extirpate the fiends and deviates of the world by the decree of the Jade Emperor. Thereafter, by the command of the celestial, worthy of original commencement, I led, with loosened hair and naked feet and with the soaring serpent and divine turtle under my feet, the 5 thunder deities, the huge maned lion and various ferocious beasts and poisonous dragons to subjugate the dark and fiendish miasmas of the northeast. Today I am enjoying the peace of Wudong Mountain, and the serenity of the Palace of Grand Harmony, the calm seas and clear universe, only because the fiendish demons and devious spirits have all been exterminated in our South Jambudvipa continent and in our North Uttarakuru continent. Now that the great sage has come to make this request, it is difficult for me not to respond, but without the decree from the region above, it is also difficult for me to respond in arms. If I were to send forth the gods with my formal command, I fear that the Jade Emperor would be offended. But if I refuse the great sage, I would go utterly against human sentiments. I suppose, however, that those fiends on the road to the west could not be too terribly formidable. I'll ask Turtle and Serpent, the 2 generals, and the 5 divine dragons, to assist you. I'm certain they will capture the monster spirit and rescue your master from this ordeal." After he bowed to thank the Patriarch, Pilgrim went back to the region of the west, accompanied by Serpent, Turtle, and the dragon deities, all wielding their powerful weapons. In less than a day, they arrived at the Little Thunderclap Monastery, where they dropped from the clouds and began to provoke battle before the monastery gate. We tell you now about that great King Yellow Brow, who gathered the various fiends below his treasure tower and said, "These 2 days Pilgrim's son has not even shown up. I wonder where he has gone to seek help." Hardly had he finished speaking when the little fiend guarding the gate came in to report. "Pilgrim is leading several persons with the looks of dragon, serpent, and turtle to provoke battle outside our gate." "How did this little monkey," said the demon, "manage to acquire people with looks like that? Where did such people come from?" He put on his armor immediately and walked out of the monastery gate, crying, "What dragon deities are you that you dare transgress our immortal territory?" With looks most rugged and spirited, the 5 dragons and the 2 generals shouted, "You brazen fiend! We are the 5 dragon deities and Turtle and Serpent, the 2 generals, before the demon-conquering celestial worthy, who is the Pontiff of Composite Prime in the Palace of Grand Harmony, located on Wudong Mountain. By the invitation of the great sage, equal to heaven, and the amulet summons of the celestial worthy, we came here to arrest you. You, monster spirit, send out the Tang monk and the constellations quickly, and we shall spare your life. If not, we will hew to pieces the fiends of this entire mountain, and we will burn to ashes your several buildings." On hearing this, the fiend grew enraged. "You beasts!" he cried. "What great magic power do you have that you dare mouth big words like that? Don't run away. Have a taste of my club." Whereupon these 5 dragons churned up cloud and rain, and those 2 generals sprayed dust and dirt, as they rushed forward together to attack with spears, scimitars, swords, and halberds. The great sage Sun, too, followed them, wielding his iron rod. This was another terrific battle. The vicious demon used force. Pilgrim sought armed assistance. The vicious demon used force, as he took a precious tower to set up the Buddha's form. Pilgrim sought armed assistance, going far to a treasure region for the dragon gods. Turtle and serpent started water and fire. The fiend raised weapons and arms. 5 dragons were ordered to the westward way, followed by Pilgrim for his master's sake. Swords and halberds flashed like electric bolts. Spears and knives glowed like lightning bright. The wolf teeth club of this one, strong but short and pliant. The golden hooped rod of that one, both yielding and compliant. You hear loud bangs and booms like firecrackers, and clanging chords like gold being struck. Water and fire came to conquer the fiend. Arms and weapons encircled a monster spirit. Their cries startled tigers and wolves. Their brawl alarmed spirits and gods. This raucous battle had just reached a draw, when the demon seized the treasures once more. Leading the 5 dragons and the 2 generals, Pilgrim battled the demon for half an hour. Then the fiend untied his wrap and held it in his hand. Alarmed by what he saw, Pilgrim shouted,